Welcome to Create Multimedia Domination with Multiplicity-preneur Marketing the right, W-R-I-T-E way. I am AliNICOLE while she does it all, and I am the Chief Multiplicity-preneur Pioneer. And joining me for this training is the Multiplicity Moundbuilder, Joseph L. Jones Jr. Little bit about us. We are the creators of the platforms Multiplicity Monument Empires and also the Multiplicity Marketplace Media Tours. And we co-authored publications together in this area, and they are available on Amazon. I just want to thank Joseph again for being here with me, because he's the one that really helps to bring out the greater expansion of this series that we've been doing on the domination. And I love all the commentary that he provides when we're together based on the concepts and the content. So Joseph, thank you again.
It is always an incredible joy to be with you, particularly on this particular format.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you always. And it is always my absolute pleasure to have you co-facilitating with me, because our work in this area is so important. And we are certainly want to make sure that we are giving what is really required for others to really get not just their jump starts, but also for them to have something to continuously build upon. And so, we've been talking about creating the domination effect with the marketing aspect. And we've touched on how important the marketing aspect is, and why it actually is important to bring forth the domination. And so as we are continuing to focus on the multiplicity-preneur aspect, because this is what it is all about, is being able to be these high-level dominators in the media space, leveraging this concept that most say that you shouldn't even be using, so to speak, and constricting people to just focus on one area. But the writing elements expand this far beyond what most can imagine. And as someone who has over 300 blog platforms for different industries, and close to 300 publications on Amazon that actually do serve a variety of niche markets, and then also 600 articles and climbing on LinkedIn. So Joseph, I might know a thing or two about marketing for multiplicity-preneur success the right, W-R-I-T-E way. You think so?
I know
Uh,
you do. I know you do.
just a little, just a little. All right, so I want to jump right into this and just start really talking about those who serve more than one niche. Is that when you do serve more than one niche or industry, it is very important to categorize your content and your brand expression on different platforms. Now, while some try to actually do this on one platform, I find that it's more effective when you can cross pollinate and cross dominate with diversity on different social media mediums. And Joseph and I, we teach a lot on this particular concept about the importance of, of categorization. And so I am going to share, though, with you the best platform to write on to showcase the different variations of your expertise if you do want to have a central focus, in one particular area. So I'll get into that at some point within what we're going to be talking about, today. So I mentioned the categorization, and I highly recommend doing series content providing. So when you serve a variety of niches, I tell people this all the time, it's actually less writing that you have to do as it relates to your marketing. So I teach others how to create blog series. And if you've been on any of my trainings or any of Joseph and I's trainings as it relates to this topic, you will chronically hear me talk about platforms like Tumblr, Blogspot, which is known as Blogger, and also a live journal. And so the reason why it's best to create series on these platforms is because on that specific platform with a specific theme, this is where you can actually be laser focused, and you can just give your audience or those who are prospecting you, so to speak, just a taste of your expertise, and allow those blog posts to then invite others to start, booking you for speaking, maybe hire you for consulting services or whatever services, or if you have products on there, then they can purchase those products right on your blog site. And again, you can have your main blog, your main website or so, but when you are trying to serve different niche markets and you don't want to be confusing, in your primary area, then having these sub platforms are going to serve you greatly. So again, you can use these blog series, like I said, to give others a taste of what you bring to the table, but also they serve as evergreen marketing of what I have coined and created concepts and programs around, I call bloggertizing. So this is where you are a bloggertizer of your multiplicity-preneur, experience. So when you have 3 to 5 of these platforms in place, then it allows you to create the domino effect, because you can leverage them also to segue into other platforms that you have. And even if it's not related to your niche focus, trust me, there are creative ways to segue people from one particular aspect to another. So I'm not going to actually get into that because that's a whole nother teaching, but I want to just plant the seed that there is a way, to do it for sure. So another way to create this domination effect in the media with multiplicitypreneurship, the right, WRITE way, is also publishing, and I talk about this chronically, publishing 5x8 to 6x9, 30 to 70 page mini books on Kindle Direct Publishing, and using them as marketing vehicles. Again, you can use these to get booked to speak, attract consulting clients, and also create leads for other endeavors while you're monetizing your marketing. Isn't that great? That you actually are providing a marketing vehicle that's adding value, and you being able to actually receive compensation. And something that I do is that within my many marketing publications is that I have these different platforms, because I have actually over 1,000 platforms online, and more than them are 300. 300 of them, over 300 of them are blog platforms. And so I position those platforms in the publications. And so when people are Googling or so, and maybe that platform doesn't come up in SEO or the search engine as a #1 or so, but when people buy the publications, they're going to find the platform in the publication. And so then they can go to that platform for more related works. So, but they actually had to purchase to find out about this other, the other extensions that may not come up, especially if you're not marketing regularly. Like if you're blogging consistently, that's different. But when you create, just the platforms and they are the series, then this is the way to leverage them, is you position them in publications. People buy the publications, and then they find out, like I said, the next steps. So you can do this for each of your areas of expertise that you're planning to leverage in your multiplicity preneurship. So when others can see that you're published, this is huge. It takes your credibility to new heights. I don't care if it is a small book or it is a major, large book. There's something about being published that just changes the game for people, even above people having degrees. When people hear that you're published, it's like, oh, you wrote a book, or you published a book, like I said, because that's not something that everybody just does. And even though obviously there's thousands of people, millions of people so that have published, but when you in your everyday life or different people, they don't necessarily come across people who actually are published. They come across several people who have degrees and certifications, but publishing takes it to a completely different level. So, like I said, it can take your credibility to new heights. And so, these many publications can also be used for what I teach is beta book marketing to get people interested in a bigger book that you're planning to launch at another time, or this can be even something that you're leading into some type of course or program. So this mini book can be a chapter of your bigger book, and you can just add some action pages to them. So there's a number, a variety of ways to be able to leverage this. So I mentioned earlier that there's a platform that if you want to be able to demonstrate more of your multiplicitypreneurship and you want to do it on just one specific platform outside of your primary website, is the platform I'm going to recommend leveraging for showcasing all your different areas of expertise is LinkedIn. LinkedIn article publishing is by far my favorite form of online writing, next to creating mini blogs. And that's a whole nother story in terms of my love for blogging in the mini blog formats. But I recommend publishing article series on different niche focuses and then using those as your marketing vehicles. Because once you have them in your archives, next thing you can leverage them in so many different ways. So it doesn't really require you to do a lot of writing once you create these specific series. Of course, you can continue to publish articles, but at least from the marketing perspective, you have your marketing article series in place, and you can leverage those series as prerequisites for people to work with you or to book you for speaking. You can also leverage the articles for book sales and so much more. There's just no limits really to what you can do on LinkedIn as it relates to your multiplicity preneurship. And I teach others in all these areas. Over the years, I've been teaching in the multi-niche blogging, preneurship, pollination, publishing preneurship, and also the multi-level LinkedIn article publishing, preneurship. So it's a variety of, of different areas. So Joseph, before I share a few articles and platforms that I want to direct people, to, I would love to hear your thoughts and how you see that what I've shared today helps to create the domino effect for media domination, the right WRITE way.
Well, as you know, LinkedIn has always been one of my favorite platforms to promote business and
Mm-hmm.
to blitz and to do different
Mm-hmm.
media projects because
Yes.
it's a great opportunity to connect and it's a great business platform to
Yes.
get your information out and to make others aware of what you have. So
Mm-hmm.
that is a very strategic tool to
Mm-hmm.
utilize in terms of your business domination and your media marketing and getting what needs to be in the hands of business owners. And on that platform is a place where you have people that are hungry for what you're offering.
Yes.
It's not so
Mm-hmm.
much geared to pictures and look at
Yeah.
me now type of stuff. It's
Yeah.
very much geared toward business owners that are ready to take their business to the next level. So
Right.
that's definitely the place to go in terms
Mm-hmm.
of business building and development. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm very much on board with that concept.
Oh, great. Yeah, yeah. I like what you said too about it. It is very centrally focused on individuals who are hungry, for that. It's not, my cat has a new dress, type of platform. It is, Yeah, it is. It's another topic there. Um, but yeah, it is centrally focused. And so for those who want to be able to have their multiplicitypreneurship kind of in one place, then LinkedIn is the platform, to be able to do that, on. But all of what has been shared, in terms of the categorization and being able to have, as you know, we've talked about this in a number of trainings, but being able to have these different platforms, such as Tumblr, and writing out, these blogs that a blog series that are going to be very focused and intentional in terms of getting prospects and customers to, see and get a taste, and then make some quick decisions. And when you have products on those platforms, and you've got that blog series where they can have the value, and then an opportunity of a quick call to action of implementation, um, or investment, of some sort, and being able to leverage that consistently, for evergreen. That once you create that series, you can keep just leveraging it, unless you choose, to do, um, more, and just keep creating maybe 3 to 5 part blog series every other month, or annually, or quarterly. But my point is that in the multiplicitypreneurship aspect, you actually don't have to create a lot. It is less is more, and you just maximize what you have. You make the moreness out of a little. Now, some might be saying, "Well, gosh, but you have all these different things." It's different because of my branding, but everybody's branding is not going to be tailored to um, that type of massiveness. But my demonstration shows that you can multiply um, different concepts and different aspects of your branding across the board. But if you do just an eighth of what I'm talking about, you can still be highly, successful. Um, and then the publishing aspect, Joseph, which you have spoken to this in other parts of this series. But is there anything else that you want to share? Because I know you highly touched on LinkedIn, but anything around just kind of the other two, aspects as it relates to domination?
Well, multiplicity-preneur domination really requires people to identify what it is that they want to dominate,
That's
and
right.
where it is and how it is that they want to dominate with their
Mm-hmm.
business. And
Mm-hmm.
so, one of the ways to flush that out is by writing,
That's
which
right.
is why your
Mm,
concept of less is more is important, because
mm,
you don't want to bombard people with too much too fast. So,
that's
you
right.
want to sit down and write out and flesh out what you have to offer in a very succinct blog or in a very
Mm-hmm.
succinct media presentation, which
Yes.
you can do, as you mentioned, on LinkedIn, or you can do on other different blogging platforms. But
Mm-hmm.
you want to begin to write that out. First, think that out, and then
Mm-hmm.
begin to write that out very simplistically.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that you're able to do that and to serve so many different other niche markets and industries is because you have a plethora of information on a number of different markets if you're
Right.
skilled in your particular business. You
Mm-hmm.
just simply translate that into another market so that you're able to address different niches with the
Yes.
same product and the same offerings that you have
Mm-hmm.
into those different niche marketings of your
Mm-hmm.
choosing. So that's basically the simplistic way of connecting with different marketing platforms and aspects with
Mm-hmm.
the same offering which you're offering and what you have.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, again, less is more.
Yes.
So you don't want to have too much content. Everyone's not going to be AliNICOLE. Let's start with that. Everyone's not going to
That's right.
be putting forth 300 different platforms and over 300 works and
It's
books
not
and that type of
necessary
thing.
for them. Right, right.
But
Exactly.
again, as you said, you've laid the groundwork and set the example so that people
Hmm.
can see that in whatever format they want to do it, it can be done
Absolutely.
and it has been done.
Yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. Yes, it has, and as you know, something I'll just share even within this particular training is even the massiveness that has been created. For me, that will not be a continuation. That was very intentional for a specific season and time of the journey to be monumental and to be the high level demonstration for others to be able to tap into new possibilities and having such a wide range and diversity of my brand and empire expression that others can look and see, well, this is a new normal. And not only is it just a new normal and new possibilities for this specific thing, look at how she's just leveraged her entire journey, because that's what it's been for me, is leveraging my life as a niche and being in the business of being me, and being able to share that on different platforms to be able to yeah, provide for other industries. But the gateway has always been writing. I started out doing cross niche journalism, and because I was an avid journaler in my life, still am, to this day, and most of my publications are written in journal style formats. And so when you can create journals, action planners, so for different industries, those are gateways um, to keys to open up doors, if you will, for different opportunities. And so when you're trying to play for a higher end advantage, you don't want to inundate people with a lot of information. You want to be able to keep it simple, and then get people interested, of course. And then that's why I mentioned about the option for beta book marketing, or even beta project product marketing. I teach that in another training. But for the beta books, sometimes you need to just publish a mini book and test it out in the market and see if that concept is going to be even one that is going to work best from a higher level advantage, towards your efforts and your endeavors. So when you can test that, then you can start to say, okay, I can build a little something else around this, and then expand it. Or you publish a series of the mini books and the chapters, so to speak, that helps you to create some uh, helps you to monetize your marketing and be able to maybe finance even a bigger book project. I recommend obviously self-publishing where you don't have to pay, but the royalties are better, from that. And that's a whole nother, subject too. But so these are just some tips and some concepts to get you started in leveraging the writing aspect. Nothing moves the energy like writing. And when you're wanting to be an expression and demonstrate your brand artistry in terms of communication, because even if you're podcasting or so and you integrate that into writing, I highly recommend that, especially for those who are doing publishing on LinkedIn or will be, is take your podcast episodes or features and make articles out of those. Those are great ways to demonstrate um, different levels, of your expression of a brand, and leveraging this multiplicitypreneurship in a very massive way. That's what helps to create the domination effect. So, Joseph, I'm going to invite you back in momentarily, but I'm going to share just a few ways that others can benefit, from this, and some helpful articles and platforms that I have here. So I talked about LinkedIn, of course, being the best platform to demonstrate your multiplicitypreneurship and being able to serve different niches and industries. So I have an article series that's called "How to Jumpstart Your Success on LinkedIn the Right WRITE way when you serve more than one niche market." And so there's 3 parts, to that particular series, and you'll benefit from it greatly. So there'll be a link, to that in the description. Then there's a platform that's called Marketing with the Minis, and it is www.marketingwiththeminis.blogspot.com. And then for those who want to get started with writing, it's a platform, Start Your Journey Off Right, WRITE, and that's www.startyourjourneyoffright.blogspot.com. And then for those who want to get started with blogging or just take their blogging, to the next level, then there's a platform, Blogging Get To It, and it's www.bloggingget2it.blogspot.com. I know Joseph's probably like, what? No Tumblr today? Just wait. Wait for it. It's coming.
Wait for it.
Yeah, wait for it. But it's actually not within that particular one. It's like our platforms. Also, I have a new course and a cohort group for multiplicity writing and publishingpreneurs, and there will be information in the description box about that. Also, the other platforms that I just named, and links for the LinkedIn article. And then also how you can learn more about the works that Joseph and I do, and those actually are on Tumblr platforms. So, Joseph, any final thoughts or words before we conclude?
Well, I would just like to basically ditto and ducktail on what you've mentioned so far, and that is to be sure to journal your journey as a multiplicity-preneur.
And I have a book by that title too, actually. Thank you, Joseph. Plug.
Little shameless plug.
Yes, yeah, that's right.
Journal your journey, because no one can dominate with the experience that you have on your journey like you can. Media means communicating your message. So when you're journaling, when you're blogging, when you're writing, when you're blitzing, when you're doing all of those things, you're communicating your message, you're communicating what you have to offer. But journaling is one of the key ways to do that.
Absolutely.
So make sure that you're profiting off of the experience that you have as you're gifting other people so that they can learn, grow, and develop as you have. You're blazing a trail, but you're also writing what you experience on the journey as well. So
That's
definitely get
right.
started with that.
Awesome. Yes. Blazing the trail the WRITE way, right? The right way. Awesome,
Absolutely.
Joseph. Yes. Thank you so much for those words. And always, of course, for being here with me and facilitating and providing always stellar commentary, for the listeners, because this opportunity is, as you've said in previous sessions and segments, that is tremendous. And the amount of value that is here is not going to be something that you're going to find in other places. To be able to be creative in your unique brand and marketing expression, and to ultimately be the empire of yourself, so that you can express all these different giftings the right WRITE way and a less is more format. So, Joseph, thank you again. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for such valuable content.
Oh, thank you. And you are most welcome. So, I always say to our audience, especially as it relates to the domination effect, you have what it takes to create this multimedia multiplicitypreneurship domination effect. And in this case, the right WRITE way. But you have to create a plan and you have to get into action. Can't emphasize that enough. Awareness is great, but awareness isn't enough. And creating a plan is great, but just having a plan isn't enough. You have to get into high-level execution and take right-inspired action. You got to create this momentum, and you can't just show up once. You got to be consistent until you actually achieve your goal of domination. Because once you start to dominate, then you can actually pull back some, because then you have the attraction factor now gravitating to you, because you've created the domino effect and you've taken over in ways that you need to, that things become kind of just an automatic, for you. But you need to get on it. And I'm going to say this is a high time of acceleration, and slow and steady does not always win the race.
Mm.
So we need to understand that, is that you do need to be kind of in your methodicalismness in terms of pacing yourself, but you need to be the hare versus the turtle, okay, the tortoise, so to speak. The hare got laxed, and that's the only way that he got beat by a slow and steady. But if you continuously, you can be the hare and stay continuously in the momentum by doing these many actions that we're talking about, creating the series, keep creating the momentum and leveraging it. So when I said earlier, you can sort of pull back, meaning that you really don't have to be in the marketplace being aggressive and hustling, but you can be consistent with what you're doing still in a very rapid pace. But you need to get into action, because again, slow and steady doesn't always win the race. It's a good concept to leverage, but I would not rely on that in terms of if you're scaling a business on a grander scale that's going to take longer, certainly. But when it comes to what I'm talking about, these are the implementations. This is the slow, if you want to call it slow and steady, I would leverage this, but in a jackrabbit type of energy. Keep creating the minis, keep creating the series, keep building upon what you're building upon to create the momentum, but at least get into action. So on the note of that sermon being closed out, I hope that you found this training extremely beneficial as it relates to your marketing for multiplicitypreneurship. And of course, Joseph and I, we look forward to sharing with you more of these trainings.